Hey everybody, I'm Shane, founder of Evervault, and today I'm going to show you how you can use Outbound Relay to share encrypted data with a third-party API without ever handling it in plain text. So you'll see here I've spun up a replit which lets us run a Node.js application in the browser, and I'm going to start off by including the Evervault SDK, which is available as a package on NPM. So we'll initialize it just like any other SDK. We'll pass in our API key once we've initialized it, and the API key is available in the Evervault Dashboard as well. I've already created it as an environment variable in a replit here, so I don't have to go into the dashboard and paste it in. We're also going to enable Outbound Relay as well, which is just a flag that gets passed into the SDK when you initialize it. We're also going to use a service called request_bin for generating an ephemeral URL that lets us log all the requests that are going to it. And you can imagine in this example, this endpoint could be something like a payment processor or any kind of API that needs to collect sensitive data from your application. So we've created a request_bin here. I can copy the URL and go back. And we're going to use a library called Axios in Node.js to actually send the requests themselves. So once I initialize the application itself, I'm going to send a post request to the URL that we just created using Axios. We'll paste in the URL, and then as data, we'll give it a name. So in this example, I'll just show you what it looks like without using Evervault. And we'll log the response. So once I save this and run, we should get success true back from request_bin itself. We can go into the logs here and see that the name was passed in plain text. So let's imagine what this looks like with an Evervault encrypted string. I'm going to use the Evervault SDK to encrypt it using the encrypt method, which is just available by default in the SDK itself. Once I save this and run the code again, everything should still flow through as normal, but you'll see that by the time the request hits the API, the name's been encrypted. We're now going to use Outbound Relay, which is a proxy that automatically decrypts sensitive data before it gets passed to a third party. And we're going to use that to decrypt the name before it reaches our request_bin, or in your example, or your use case, the API that's actually collecting the sensitive data. So we're going to copy the endpoint URL as well, and go into the Outbound Relay section in the Evervault app that we've just created. Go in and add the destination. And then we'll see that the Outbound Relay here gets created. Now that we've added the Outbound Relay in the Evervault dashboard, we can just go back to replit, run the code again, and by the time the request reaches our request_bin, you'll see that the name has been decrypted. In this example, you're only handling encrypted data encrypted by Evervault. You never handle the plaintext itself, but the API that you're interacting with is only receiving plaintext data. So as far as they're concerned, you're not even using Evervault. Thank you.